Thank you.
I'm kind of fired up today, and I'm going to talk about some things that are kind of, eating at me a little bit. And I trust you guys will talk and share a little bit as well, because we'll be starting here in 3 minutes. What's on your mind? I want to make sure we add a lot of value, and welcome Facebook folks. We're going to be starting here right at the top of the hour. What are you guys dealing with that you would like us to cover today and discuss? Because this is going to be a role play. This is also skills and kind of a free for all of ideas. Free fall. Yeah, free for all. Talk to me. What's on your mind? Nobody has any challenges? Billy, how about you?
I'm working with the buyer right now and just trying to get them to decide on something they want. I'm going to show them 2 to 3 more properties on Saturday, but hoping that I can get them to make a decision and put an offer in, because the ones they send me, I look them up and they already have offers on them or something.
Right, I get that. Well, we're going to be talking today on both sides of the equation, because I'm kind of on fire about this right now. You've heard me say it before early on. Some of you guys haven't because you're new on the call. Is quit setting prices and start setting expectations. That goes for buyers and sellers, and it's especially true in a crazy market. So, anything else? Jim, what's on your mind? Mr. Baxter. What's on your mind, Jim, other than Georgia peaches?
Nothing is other than the same old people wanting somebody that's strong in their neighborhood. And I've only been here, moved down there from Georgia 3 years ago, and I've been listening to you and try to overcome that with simply look at my track record. What's more important to you, getting your house sold or working with somebody that sold the most in your neighborhood?
Got it. Well, if you want, maybe if we can role play that again, then we can get some input from the other people. They're kind of flowing in now. How many times are you getting that?
I get it on average about once every 2 weeks.
And have you ever overcome it?
I've overcome it, yes. Although I have missed it more than I've caught it.
Well, one thing we're going to be starting here in just 1 second. So the first thing that I want you to do, I had that same thing happen to me today. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Danny Grimes here. It's, I think, July 30th already. The 7th month is over with. Welcome to this Thursday edition of What's on Your Mind. And I'm a little fired up. The whole title of today is going to be Set Expectations and Quit Setting Prices. I think it's quit setting prices and start setting expectations, to be right honest with you. So anyway, going back to, I'm fired up on a couple different fronts. Number one, the market is crazy. We've talked about that on our last calls. And I'm hearing stories from other agents that's like, it's making me scratch my head. So I had a role play with my team today about a buyer that found the house. In fact, if you'll allow me to, let me just go here and share my screen a little bit, and just so you can see the slides and what's on my mind. Here we go. Because I've got a couple things I want to share. That's us today, right? You can see that. Slide show. There, here we go. All right, so here we are. This is the title today, you guys in the Facebook world. Quit setting prices and start setting expectations. I may do a Facebook Live on the Bold page because a lot of agents are making the mistake of setting prices for sellers and also expectations for buyers. So on a role play today with my team, which we do every day, 8:30 to 9 o'clock, today was a little bit more script practice. And you heard me say this on Tuesday. I want to remind everybody on the call right now, there is a difference it was a glaring aha for me. I've always heard the terms and I knew that they were different. However, handling objections that may be coming at you randomly, yes, you can memorize some scripts. However, you have to have those in memory, and there's more than one way to deliver them. However, a lot of the scripts you're going to use are from a phone. So if you're using a phone, you want to have the script in front of you. They always demonstrate that. Some of our celebrity role play partners, Dave Norberg and a lot of the other people had their scripts right in front of them. However, here's the thing. If Hollywood called you in to maybe star in a new Tom Cruise movie, which I'm sure I'm probably the right demo for that, right? I could be Tom Cruise's grandfather or something. You would at least study the lines. And so what I've noticed, even working with my team a little bit, and they're progressing in the formula of asking questions, is that you are bad at scripts reading until you practice them enough to get good at it. So we're working on you guys reading the scripts. Here, this time of year, we don't have a lot of traffic. However, we have a lot of traffic in season. You could probably memorize 13 or 14 scripts, not memorize as far as reading, at least get very proficient at reading them, just practicing them at a red light, right? Any chance you get, you should be reading because they sound more natural. Anyway, we went off-road a little bit. In fact, one more thing, we made a rule, I said it today, no more winging it. Because all of us are on the call, we're listening to someone basically wing it, and it's not the same lines as like, if you like your favorite song, country song, whatever it happens to be, I can't think of one like Freebird, that's more music than words. Don't make up the words. And so we have a rule now in our script practice and role play, is that if it is a written script, you read the script. Now, when you get good enough, you can kind of like you have it internalized, that's awesome. But no freewheeling, because now we're hearing stuff that's like, where did that come from? And I'm asking them, are you reading that or are you making it up? Now, there's sometimes we want to make it up. So anyway, all right, here's the story. This is what's got me on fire. I was talking to someone, I think my wife actually, and I think there's somebody in the KCN network that has a listing. I don't know if you guys in KCN that are on the call know who it is. It doesn't really matter who. And can you imagine launching a listing and they have multiple showings, right? Now, I think that I heard her right. I think she said 70 offers. Now, even if it was 70 showings and 20 offers, if I didn't hear her right, isn't that like a little bit like crazy? Are you guys seeing that insane activity? Anyone want to share? I'm not reading your chats. Just unmic yourself and tell me, are you guys seeing that in some of your price points in your market? Just talk to me really quick.
Yeah, I do. I see it.
Well, anybody else? Thank you, David. Anybody else? Al, what's going on in your market?
Well, we see multiple offers coming in, but the homes normally are off the market within, recently it's 9 days is the average length of time a house is on the market. So, but we're not seeing that 60, 70. I'm not saying there's not an exception out there, but what we are finding, Denny, is that, I don't know what the actual statistic is, but I would guess about 20% of the homes that go under contract drop off within a week to 10 days.
They
So
bust
I
through?
know people are putting in offers on homes and then still continue to shop to try to find something better. But it seems to be a higher rate than normal.
Wow, I haven't heard of that one yet.
And now that's on homes priced $350,000 or less.
Well, here's my gig, you guys, and we can talk about it or not. Is that if you're in a market now, Al, if 9 days is all right. I mean, 9 days is exposed. However, when you're getting crazy amounts of traffic and crazy amounts of offers, and maybe you're going, 10 or 15% or 20% above asking price, the question I'm just begging people to give me an answer for is, why are you listing it so low? I had a conversation with someone yesterday from a different part of Florida, and they were telling me how crazy their market is. And I asked that question hoping, and I know that's not a right word to use, and from a mindset standpoint, I was hoping I'd get an answer. And everyone goes back to the same point. They're going back to, well, the comps say it's not, we didn't underprice it. The comps were where they were. You know, and somebody said on this show a month or so ago, when you're in a crazy market, you want to start pricing homes, or let me ask you the question, in an upward moving market, why wouldn't you price homes based on actives? Because in my opinion, and again, this, we can talk about it a little bit if you want. I'm just going on a record if you don't know already. I think in an upward moving market, the worst thing you can do is sell it right away. And multiple offers, even over asking price, does not necessarily mean you've sold it as high as you could, particularly when you get crazy activity. I want to deal with the expectations. Now, I'm going to ask the other question. How many people, I know, Billy, you just said it, you're working with a buyer, and this was my aha with my role play today with my guys. I took the buyer side. Rarely, and most of the times on these role plays, you guys, we're dealing with sellers. Let's go on the buyer side. Do you think they're having a lot of fun with this market? I don't think so. I think, you know, they don't, just having track shoes on, you know, the ones with the spikes isn't enough. They need to have some sort of a skateboard like Back to the Future. I mean, they have to like be really moving, and their expectations have to be very high. And so are you having any challenges getting your buyers to the listing before they sell? And if you get them there soon enough, they're not acting strong enough. Is anyone having challenges with that?
Yeah, some.
Yes.
Okay, so here's a couple things that came up this week that I would like to work on and kind of role play with you guys. Okay, so, and we're all family now. We got most of the people on here have been on here before. And this is on a listing presentation. And the seller says to you, I hear the market's crazy. Zillow says my home is worth $460,000. What do you think it's worth? Now, we don't have to role play right away. Why don't you just tell me, where are the booby traps in this?
Zillow.
Yeah, Zillow, yes. What else?
What do you think it's worth?
Right. You don't have enough information to answer that question.
Well, you're right. Here's the thing is that going back to the title of this class, setting expectations instead of prices, we'll role play this and see if you can basically set expectation instead of prices. So would anyone like to be the agent in this? I'll be the seller. I promise not to be too mean. And then we can kind of like, we'll take about 3 minutes to do it. It won't be a long one. And let's see, the rest of the group can add some input, like what was great and where's room for improvement. Who's willing to grow a little bit and kind of like step up and let other people hear you talk?
You know, I'll go for it. Denny, why not?
Who's that?
Sean.
Thank you, Sean. Sean. Hey, listen, Zillow says my house is worth 460. What do you think it's worth?
Well, there's a lot that goes into that question. First off, with Zillow, you know, their prices can vary quite a bit, even based on their website, 20, 30, 40%. So really, to telling what your home is worth, the best way for me to tell you that would be to tour the home, come look at your upgrades, what have you done to it, so I can really get a good comparison to other markets.
Okay, awesome. That's on the phone. Awesome. We're at the table right now.
Ah, gotcha.
Okay.
We're at the table. Well, I would probably still say something about, you know, Zillow and their estimates and how much they can vary even based off their information from Zillow.
Sean, I'm willing to hear. Hey, look, I like you. You were referred to me. Now help me set a price. Zillow says it's worth 460. What do you think it's worth?
Well, at 460 would be in a standard market, and the market we're in right now is pretty crazy. We have a lot of homes going over asking price. And in my opinion, trying to get you the best value, I feel we can go a little bit higher than what Zillow might think it's worth.
Okay. Y'all listen now, okay? Y'all listen. Well, okay, what's a little bit higher?
I mean, I feel like that'd be really hard without knowing the house. Based on comparisons I've had, sure, things have sold in that 450 to 460 range. But I think we should go in a little bit higher. We can look for a higher clientele, maybe the 475, to really see what kind of competitiveness we can get into.
Okay. 475. So you think we should list it at 475?
Sure.
Okay. Now I know this is role play. You haven't seen the
Yeah.
house. So is it okay if we dissect that a little bit?
Okay.
No, I'm not, I mean, I don't want anyone to feel bad because obviously you're successful at what you do. However, you want to step up. So anyone have a comment on that at all? You see, here's the thing. Let me just point it. Did he set the price?
I did.
Yes.
Yes.
So Sean, here's the thing is, and I was going to work you hard.
Yeah.
Like sellers were to give me a number. So here's the thing that if you want to be kind of like blameless, and many times you're right, and Sean, in a real world situation, you may be spot on with your advice. However, to win in every battle, in every situation, let's redo that now and never give a number. Because if you're giving the number, will they remember it?
No. Or well, probably, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's in their head.
they will.
And we're going to play it on the buyer side too, because I see it. I've talked to many agents. Their buyers are losing out on homes because they're not handling them properly up front. You should never, every time you have a buyer miss out on a home, they should come to you with their head low and say, I'm sorry, you were right. Or just say, you were right. Because if you give a number and it's wrong, and particularly if buyers don't get the house, I'm just wondering, who might they blame? And here's
Us.
yeah,
They
and
always
here-
blame the agent.
they do because they don't want to blame themselves. And the sad thing is, unless you're super sterile about this, I have seen many buyers that I've made that mistake with because they're angry with me or angry with one of my team members, they're gone. You know why? I mean, they're just gone. It's not rational. They're gone. So let's go one at a time. Do y'all like the direction of this conversation? Yes?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, because I see it all the time and I want to make you guys bulletproof. Now, remember the rule is, write this down, never give a number. Never give a number. Never give a number. So, Sean, with that in mind, and I'll give you an opportunity like yours, like in baseball, you get more than one at bat. Well, I didn't. They usually put me in like in the 7th inning, so I only got one at bat. So, would you like to redo it?
Sure, I can give it a try.
Okay, there's that try stuff. Okay, us bold coaches don't like that. All
Right.
right, so no worries. All right, so the Zillow says 460, and where do you think I should list it?
Well, that number, of course, can be inflated or deflated based off of several different ideas with the market. I really don't want to put an exact number on it right now until we can get an idea of how competitive the market in your area might be.
Well, don't you have to have a number to list it?
Yes, you do. Yes.
This is like playing one of those games where you can't say radish or something, right?
Well, one of our first steps can be the coming soon. I actually don't know. Do you have to have a number to put it in coming soon?
We're not even allowed coming soon. I think NAR did away with that. Anyway, for this game, there's no coming soon.
Okay. I'm not sure where to go with that then.
Awesome, fair enough. Who wants to tag team them?
I'll try it. John.
All right. Is that John? Okay, John.
Yeah. So, Denny, you have a lovely home, and we laid out all the comps. We showed you this house around the corner with the updated granite. You just have regular tile. This house has the awesome kitchen, and you just have the regular standard steel, stainless steel, if I can say that easy, appliances. This house is listed at $440. This house here is listed at 480. Where in that range do you think your house is? Do you think you're at a 480 house, or you think you're closer to 440?
All right, so, nice technique. Now, no, he's attempting to pin me to the mat. How rude is that? Well, I think I'm at least like the 480 one.
480? Okay. All right. So you feel comfortable if we listed your house at 480?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for some help from you, John. Aren't you the professional?
Well, yeah, I'm just showing you what's on the market, Denny, and I want to give you what your competition is. So, you know, you competed in athletes when you were in high school and in sports when you were in high school, right?
I ran on the bench most of the time.
Oh, okay. But you thought you could get in there and play with the team, right?
Yeah, okay.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put you on the field so you think you can compete with the 480.
So, all right, so where are you going to put me?
All right. You think you can compete with the 480? Yes or no?
I think so.
All right. Let's put it at 480 and see what we do.
All right, now, who set the number?
The seller.
I was trying to get the client to set it.
Yeah, I get it. Now, he did a much better job of bracketing me, and that's a good way to do it, right? So, all right, hang on just one second. So, John,
Yes, sir.
do you feel good about that number?
I would say, Denny, let's price it there. Let's put it in that position and see what the market tells us.
Now he just picked the number.
Ah, okay.
You see?
All right.
As soon as here's the thing, although it was really picked by the seller, the memory of that conversation, when it comes up, when you ask for a price reduction, they're going to remember you said, let's go with 480. Better, do you think it was there yet? Is there a better way to handle this, you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the seller did come up with the 480 just because of the comps. And then I would think you'd say, okay, Mr. Seller, how soon are you looking to sell your house? And then, find out
I'll go with you, William. All right. Hey, Billy, you're Billy, right?
Yep.
I'll go with you. I'm not in a hurry. I just, I want to be in Orlando by December.
Okay. Well, what the market right now is telling us that, houses in the range of 480 are sitting a little longer on the market. So if you're okay with waiting, the deal with price is we can always go down. We can never go back up. So,
Is that true, by the way?
well, depending on, okay. So on offers, some offers are getting over asking price. You're at the top of the market if you're asking for 480, and that may or may not happen. I'm not going to say it wouldn't happen, but as you see, the house down the street that has a little bit more upgrades than your house, comparable in square footage, did sit on the market for 90 days. So is that something that you're willing to stick with?
Yeah, I'm not in a hurry.
Okay. Well, I mean, you are the client, so I'm just here to assist you through the process. So if you're stuck on that price and that's what you want for your home, then I'm happy to put it on there for you. Again, we can see how the showings go. And if we don't get much traffic in here, then that's going to tell us that, what the market's doing and what the price set.
Okay, so you guys are the judges. Is he blameless there? Do you mind? I've had time to think about this. Okay, so I'm putting you guys on the spot. However, is this a real situation? Yes or yes?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me do it. Who wants to be my seller?
I'll be the seller, Benny.
Who's that?
Al Baxter.
Al, you can be too tough on me. So Al, basically, okay, Zillow said 460, right?
Yeah, that's what they're showing.
Okay. So is that what your expected sales price is, Al?
Well, based on what's going on here, Denny Home, they're selling pretty quick in our area, and I know the house down the street, they got 450 out of theirs, from what I'm told.
Okay.
And, they don't have a pool. We got a pool. So I think it's in price range, but also I've looked at Redfin, and they're right up there at 465. So there's other comps out there when you look at these.
All right, come on. You got to pin it on me. What's the seller going to ask you? You be the seller. Ask me.
What's your thoughts?
Now I'm going to use Billy's. I'm going to use Billy's model, and John was doing this too. Here's the thing. The only thing that I can do is tell you what the market did, not what the market will do. Does that make sense?
Sure, absolutely.
And here are the comps. Both you guys did that. That's where the fish were biting. Now, I don't know where they're necessarily buying, where they'll be buying tomorrow. Let me ask you, you guys, you're going to hear the same thing. Did anyone ever think meat thermometer? Based on your opinion of the market, there's no right or wrong. Do you think the market's moving up or working against you?
No, it's been moving up.
Question 2, what's more important to you, selling it for more money or selling it quickly? Oh, no, let me just rephrase that. Selling it for more money or selling it lightning fast?
Well, you tell me, Denny. We want to downgrade. What's the market like as far as us trying to find something?
Well, what's going to make you happier? Getting multiple offers on your house right away, fearing you might leave money on the table, or maybe starting out more aggressively and you don't have any action and you're going to have then to reposition? Which one of those two strategies would you prefer?
Obviously, we want to get the most we can out of the home. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
But we also have to have a place to move into. So it'd be nice to sell quick, but can we find a place that we can get into today?
I'll take some of that shake. You're making a shake. Let's keep that out of it for now. Let's just keep it right here. I don't want you to be a buyer right now. So here, the issue is the comps were basically 460, 455, 445. You think the market's moving up? I agree. And here's the thing. And this is where I would bring out my sheet, you guys. And this is going to be a little hard to see. I'm just going to draw it. This is my diagram, and that's top dollar. If we don't know where top dollar is, do you want to miss it above or below the line now?
Oh, we could try above the line.
So why don't we play a game then? Okay. And I don't know what the market's going to do. However, if there's only 3 things that can happen when we list the home. There's a 1 in 3 thing sheet, right? You're going to have that. I'll show it to them. If we list it too high, we'll have low to no showings. If we list it way too high, if we list it too high, we'll have showings and no offers, or option 3 to sell. So historically, the highest sale has been 460 or 455, 460, kind of what Zillow says. Where would you like to begin?
Well, based on what we know of the existing homes and what we know about this one, I would say 460, 465.
Now, up until that point, now again, he's being nice to me and he can be harder, right? Have I mentioned the number yet?
No, not yet.
I haven't. Now, Al, press me. Well, that's where you're the expert.
Denny, you're the expert. What's your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are everything else is sold below 460. The market's moving up. So there is a possibility a buyer could reside higher and maybe not. However, the issue is going to be, which is the greater pain? You selling fast and leaving money on the table, or your initial asking price isn't right and you have to come down a couple of different times to find top market value. Which one of those plans would you like to do?
Well, personally, I'd prefer trying a little higher, being the market's kind of in that direction, and see if we can't take advantage of it. If not, I agree. We can back off a little bit.
Now here, because we're talking about 460 and not 490, then why don't we play a game? I pick a number, then you pick a number. Okay, so let me pick the first number, and you can set the price. I'm going to pick a 4. You pick the second number.
7.
Okay, and I don't care what the third number is. Now, I wouldn't do that if I'm doing that because is there a strong possibility? I mean, it could happen. Like you could get struck by lightning, right, in the submarine. However, do you think there's a high probability it will sell with a 4 in front of it?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
no doubt.
So was that a risky thing for me to do?
No.
It's the second number that was risky. Now, so do I have some ownership in it? Yeah, I have some ownership in the initial 4. Now, then when he says 479, now here's the thing, regardless of the conversation, I want you then to summarize what just happened. So Al, based on what we've talked about, your initial asking price that you're setting is 479. Am I hearing you correctly?
No, I never said 9. But if that's what you think, we can go with that.
All right, all right, whatever it happens to be. I'm reinforcing the fact, in case you ever have to come back to this conversation, that basically I set the 4, you to 7. So the number you want to go with is 475. Feel better? 475. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you're not done yet. Now is the time. Now let me remind you, based on past sales, this number is aggressive. Would you not agree?
Yes, it is aggressive.
And the only thing I can tell you for 100% certainty is that 1 of 3 things will happen next. Now's the time you want to go over those things again because you think you're going to remember them the first time you hear it. No, this is the summary, right? This is the Cliff Notes version of the whole conversation because this is what I want him to remember. I'll go through the 3 outcomes. You'll have the sheet. And here's the thing. One more thing I want to cover with you, Al. Let me ask you a question. Because we're starting aggressive, what will you do if the market says no to your 479?
Well, would come back off. But let me ask you a question, Denny.
What?
Where do you think the appraisal will come in at on this home?
Well, why do you ask?
Well, we ask if we get an offer that's above appraisal and they're doing financing, where's that going to put our pricing at?
So would you rather price it below appraisal?
No.
In my experience, Al, almost 95% of the buyers that bought a home and it did not appraise, if they had the cash, they went forward, although they will attempt to use that to negotiate. So the only thing the only choice you have is to price it low in order to please the appraiser. Which would you rather not price it more aggressively to basically increase your equity? Yeah,
no, I would definitely increase the equity.
Most of the time, you guys here, I don't want you to get freaked out on appraisals. In an upward moving market, the appraisals are generally lagging anyway, right? And so you're going to have appraisal concerns, and the first thing they're going to do is attempt to renegotiate. Now, I recommend to you, the first thing you do is when that happens, if you're in the right price point, is you play a game of chicken with the other agent. I'm sorry, my seller's not that, you have to have a seller's permission, of course. Seller's not going to renegotiate. Do you want me to create the cancellation contract, or do you? That will stop them in their tracks. That buyer will go forward with that house regardless of appraisal if they have the cash, particularly in an upward moving market, at least 9 out of 10 times. Now, the last thing I'm going to put a button on, so we're going to switch to buyers because I think buyers are actually probably the least counseled. So Al, listen, in this marketplace, okay, I ask you the question, what will you do if the market says no? And then you ask me a question. So answer that question for me, Al.
Well, we would reduce the price.
Okay. I've said this before, however, I've got some new people on the call. I will take a listing that's aggressively priced as long as the seller has motivation. Because if they say, look, I don't need to sell, I'll wait until, the rapture before I lower my price. I may not take an overpriced listing too aggressively. You follow what I mean? Now, what's interesting in the seller situation we had today, I had to step in for one of our agents who is learning and probably could have done a better job having conversations with sellers. I have the script coming up next. It's very difficult to go in after you haven't had a good, maybe you haven't performed well in communication, etc., and go back in for a price change. So I got involved and I'm having a conversation with the buyer. And the buyer is kind of like, I mean, the seller is kind of a, you know, somebody, it's a young person and a little bit cocky and arrogant, like he knows it all, right? And here's the thing that he said to my agent, unfortunately, my agent took this to heart. He said, hey, look, I'm not in a hurry. You know, I'm not in a hurry. When you hear that, I want you then to make sure that that means, okay, and they wanted to buy another house. So what he's really saying, here's where the doctor has to come in. Unfortunately, the seller was being the doctor, and our agent wasn't really taking control. I said to him, I understand you're not in a hurry. However, you're going to buy another house, aren't you? Yes. So I see you're going to wait for your house to climb up to a certain value, which could take months or years. What's going on next for the house you want to buy? You see, there's always a cost to our decisions. One more line I want you to write down. In this market, you should start to use it, particularly if you price it. Let's say Al didn't want to price it at 470. He wanted to price it competitively at 450, and maybe you have multiple showings. I've literally had sellers that had multiple showings and multiple offers, like in the first day or so, expect me to reduce my commission because I sold it so fast. I finally figured out how to fix that. And so I'll say, Al, hey, listen, let me ask you a question before I go. This is one of those Columbo questions, like just before you walk out the door. Al, hey, listen, do I have permission to sell your home quickly?
Of course.
Well, the reason I asked that, I've had sellers in the past when I brought them an offer at top dollars, something they're happy with. However, it happened very fast. They thought they've either underpriced the home, and you've looked at the comparables, and we're not doing that, or I worked so fast I should cut my fee. So I tell those sellers from now on, if you don't think I've earned my fee to sell fast, I'll sell your home slow just to make you feel better. That's cutting them off at the knees. Because they'll do that, right? And here's the thing, and I think I talked about this one other time, is that don't ever let a seller think because it's a hot market, you should discount your fee. Because, you know, here's the thing. A hot market is a more challenging market. When you've got one contract you have to deal with, that's easier than dealing with 14. So anyway, any questions on the seller side or anything that's come up, anything on your mind, anything you want to contribute? Because I did a lot of talking there. Go.
What if we, Denny, had showings but no offers? Ask me that.
You want me to ask you?
Uh-huh.
What if you had showings and no offers?
I don't know, Denny. What is it? What's the feedback that you're getting?
Or you want me to answer that? What's outcome number 2?
Uh-huh.
Outcome number 2 is low to no showings and no offers or a low offer. What that means, you're the bridesmaid, not the bride. It involves typically a minor reposition. Does that help you?
Well, no, I understand that, and I follow you there. I guess my point would be, what if the seller comes back to you and says, well, Denny, is there something that we should be doing to the property before we reduce the price?
Well, let me ask you, Al, are you buying a house after you sell this one?
Yes.
So give me the words. What words would work on you to cause you to pay more than market value for the house you're buying next? So if the seller painted the driveway, would that make you pay more than market value?
No.
It's always price, you guys. Now, you might be able to, you know, clean it up a little bit. There's going to be some either money or elbow grease invested if you want more money. Let's talk about the buyer just for a second. Is that fair enough? Share screen. This was the second one I had. The home was listed at 350. What should we? All right. So this is it. Who wants to take this one? The home is listed at 350. What should we offer?
I'll handle it, Denny.
All right, Jim. Now you've been in Georgia, so you'll have to speed it up a little bit, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, man, it's the 350. We've looked at a lot of houses. We really like this, Jim. What should we offer?
Well, we are in a upward market with multiple offers. So if you're going to be up against 4, 5, 6 offers, where do you think you need to be?
Well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, homes are selling about 90, you said homes are selling about 97% of list.
That depends on the home, but this market that we're in this neighborhood, I can show you the comps. It is upward bound. Although you are the client, I will put in an offer at whatever you want to put it in at. But keep in mind, there's most likely going to be 4 to 6 offers.
Well, Jim, I mean, I don't know this market. You do. Coach me. What should my number be?
Well, at what number would stop you? In other words, if you were to get upset because you missed it, what number is that?
Well, I was always taught never offer a full asking price for anything. So, all right, so we go in full asking price. That's strong, right? Is that a good number?
Yes, it is a good number. Although if you're competing with 4 to 6 offers, as I said, it goes back to the highest number is going to take it. Now, I'm just going to ask you, would you be upset if you didn't get this property?
Yeah.
Okay. My next question to you, at what number would it not bother you?
Well, I mean, I don't want to overpay, Jim.
Well, overpaying is relative in an upward market. That's going to be up to the appraiser, number one. Number two, most of the time, the market will follow the upward trend.
Well, all right. Look, you know, I gotta catch an Uber here. I gotta go. So really quick, so you can draft the offer. If we go 1,000 above asking price, how's that?
If you're prepared to lose the house and not be upset at that point, okay, we're putting that offer in.
Jim, I don't want to lose a house. I don't want to lose a house. What number should I use? Make sure I get the house.
I can't tell you exactly what it's going to go for. I can just tell you.
What would you guess? If I were your brother, what would you say?
I would go back to what I just said. What number would it not upset you if you did not get the house?
So would you really do that in a real life situation?
That's what I tell them in a real life situation.
Okay, you guys, you've heard that. What do y'all think? Now, he was being stubborn. He wasn't going to playing this game. I trust he would do the same thing in the real world out there.
I learned this from you, Daddy, so.
I know.
But I would say, how much are you willing to pay to not lose the house?
And what I would do is I would say, well, let me call the other agent first and find out if they have any existing offers.
That's a little bit dangerous, Al, because it's the offer they don't know about is going to get you. Murphy's Law says that.
Even if you ask when they're going to review offers. I mean, in a market where you got multiple offers coming in, a lot of homes, you know there's been traffic. And you can tell a lot of that by showing time as far as people that have scheduled appointments.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be to your advantage to learn as much as you can?
I don't know. My issue is, you know, the issue is that I don't know how cooperative the other agent will be. I don't know how fast you can give that information. And speed is not on your, time is not on your side. You need speed. And it may be a decent tack. I probably wouldn't go down that tack. There might be a better one out there. What other comments? And here's the thing, you
Well, you
guys.
can do an escalation clause in your contract.
Yes, you can. I don't see them working much. And I don't see them working much. What might we say that would work almost every time? Jim was on the right trail, I think.
Well, we can always ask to go ahead and put that price down and see if they counter.
All right, so in the essence of time, I want to go through this. Here's the thing I want us to do right now. And Billy, you reminded me of this because I talked about this, I think, in role play. Drop the word offer. What does offer mean to you?
Open negotiations.
Does offer mean paying full price, or does offer mean offering something less than full price? In fact, what do you think it means to the buyer, which is the more important question? So do you want to
go both ways?
Pardon me?
It could go both ways. Offer more, offer less. Offer is an offer.
Well, the question is this. Okay, so let me just ask you, Jim. I'll reverse it, and you can be the buyer. And all right, the home is listed at, I forget what it said on the slide. There was $350, and we're in a break. So let me ask you so you made the statement. I'm just going to ask the question based on your opinion of the market. There's no right or wrong. Do you think the market's working in your favor or against you, Jim?
Well, I think because of this COVID and the layoffs that we're experiencing, it's working for me.
Okay, now that may happen. However, I think the majority of us are probably dealing with the opposite of that in most markets. So let's take it the other way on this particular role play.
Okay. I would say,
It's
all
working,
right,
it's working against you, right, Jim?
right.
All right, so that means the houses are going up in value every day.
Yes.
So you asked me what you should offer. Let me ask you a question. Do you want to make an offer on the home, or do you want to own it?
I want to own it.
So here's the thing. If you were a seller in a market like this, and you basically, and this house has been on the market like 2.5 days, or maybe let's make it less, just 1 day. Let me ask you a question. As we know, I know there's other showings, or somebody just looked at the house when we drove up. There's probably other appointments. We've been working together now for a week. You saw 4 or 5 homes you've liked. You've seen 3 of them already go under contract. Is that not right?
True.
So here's the thing, and Jim was on this track. I got to give you credit. In my opinion, you were on the same line of thinking as me. The question is the asking price. This is worth writing down, you guys. The asking price is the starting line. Now I'm going to give them the greater pain. Which will be the greater pain for you, Jim? If you offer less than you're willing to pay and lose the home, or you offer more than the seller was willing to take and you get the home. Now, did that make sense when I said it, or do I need to say it again?
Just say it
Makes
again.
sense to me.
Because this is exactly what's going through their mind. It's too many. If your buyers are losing out, and if you school them right, they can never blame you. You see, even with an escalation clause, this is the thing. I'll pay you $1,000 more than the highest and best offer, up to $10,000 above asking price. They're trying to get in for not 1 penny more than they need to pay in order to get the house. Just give them the 10 grand. So this is what I said, Jim, which is the greater pain for you? You offering less than you're willing to pay, and you end up losing the house. Or you offer a higher number and you find out later that was higher than what the seller was willing to accept, meaning the seller would have taken a lower offer, yet you're living in the house. Which is the greater pain for you?
Obviously, losing the house would be the greater pain.
Therefore, you have, now I'm not even gonna say we, they own this. You have one shot at getting this house, and that shot needs to be the most money you're willing to pay, no games, the most money you're willing to pay. And if you lose the house, you won't lose 1 wink of sleep. What's that number?
Putting it that way, let's see, it's listed at 350. I'm willing to go 370.
Okay. Here's the thing. If you find out when it closes for $370, $500, are you going to be okay with that?
That it would have sold for 500 less, you're saying?
No, it's 500 more than you just said. You said 370. We find out it closed for 370, 500. Are you okay with that?
Not really, not for a couple of dollars, and that's 500, just a couple of dollars.
You see what I'm doing, you guys? You're going to have to probe a little bit, because could that happen? Absolutely. And I want you to get to, will there be a number in every buyer's world, in every buyer's life, that they're not paying more than that? Now, notice I haven't brought up appraisals yet, because somebody mentioned something to me earlier today that in some markets, the offers are so competitive, they're waiving inspection and appraisals. Are you guys seeing that?
Yes. And also what we're seeing is sellers asking buyers to make the earnest money hard.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Buyers are lucky that the sellers aren't asking them to babysit and walk their pets and wash the car once a week, because the buyers would. So let's stay on this right now. Let's talk in terms of when you school your buyers. So Jim, are you saying if you lost it for $500, how would you feel? You wouldn't feel good?
No, I wouldn't.
So then are you saying your 370 is not your max?
Putting it that way, yes, sir.
What is your max? I want to get you to the point that you're not going to lose sleep. What is the max?
Put it that way, 378.
Wow. So if you find out it sold for 378, 500, are you going to be okay?
I think I can deal with that.
Now let me ask you guys, we got time here. Do you think I've done a good enough job of preparing them?
I think you made some really good points, Denny. The other thing too, I was wondering about HOA fees. If there's situations there where
hang on to that.
Okay.
Here's the thing, you guys. So, I'm not done. I'm not done. Listen. Yes, I've sold 5,000 houses. However, my lessons came from the 15,000 that didn't go through, and the buyers and sellers don't like me anymore, right? Because I wasn't slow enough. We do this all the time. They don't. Slow down. So, all right, 378, right, Jim?
That's correct.
Now, I'm going to ask, buying a home is an important decision. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
And so I'm taking a little extra time because I know it's a stressful market. I'm just going to ask you one more question. You bought the home. Imagine you buying the house at 378. You're at Safeway and you run into the seller, or you see the seller in line in front of you talking to someone you don't know, saying they just sold their home for $378,000. They don't know you're behind them. And they said, we were only asking 360. I'd have taken that. How do you feel?
I can honestly say that I would feel fine in as much as I got the house that I wanted and my family wanted. So I'm good with it.
You guys, do you see the importance of that question?
Yes, you made sure that the buyer owned that price, period.
Yes. I've had it backfire, guys, where they basically made that aggressive offer and they want to blame me because they found out later the seller would have taken less. Believe me, people are people, and they'll look for someone to blame other than themselves, except for people that have been through Bold or people like our Keller Williams agents, or believe they hold themselves accountable. However, let's just kind of like talk about this. What did you hear? What did you learn? What other little things would you like to talk about in the next 6 minutes or so that we have? We got a lot of quiet people there. Come on.
Hey, Danny, I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you ever advise, or if even if the buyer brought it up, to skip inspection?
No, I would never advise it. I would give them as an option. In this competitive market, sellers are demanding sometimes homes that you can't even have an inspection contingency. And that's like that's like living in a house without an insurance policy. Can you win? Yes. Could you lose? Yes. So my question is, Ben, do you want to assume that risk?
Right. No, I don't.
There's a difference between me recommending versus just outlining that may be an option.
Got it.
And I might say in a normal market, that would be unreasonable. In this market, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You can win on principle and rent the rest of your life.
Yeah, my seller actually chose, they got 17 offers on a property, me and Don's listing, which we accepted the one just because it had the waiver of the appraisal, of the inspection, sorry.
Sounds good.
Awesome. What are your ahas, you guys? Talk to me. Desiree, come on, and Prescott. You got a cute little town there. Any ahas, you guys, from this role play today?
The list price is the starting line.
Nice, thank you. What else?
Using the loss of the house based on $500 to get them to really drill down and think about what they're willing to pay for the house.
Good. Great aha.
Your top dollar above or below the line was great too. Where do you want to be?
Thanks, James. Here's the thing, guys, before you don't hang up, Bold Pivot starts next week, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I don't want anything to conflict with Bold Pivot. And I trust you should. If you have any questions about it, I'll tell you about it. If you want to sign up, it's a good thing for $99. So what we're going to do is for the month of August, we're going to move this program. Look at my schedule. Well, let me ask you this. Do you still like the two programs, the Tuesdays, which is script and role play, and then Thursdays, it's more of an open forum where we're talking about whatever we want to talk about? I don't want to wear your butts out. So are you still digging the two programs, or do you want to roll it to one for the month of August?
I appreciate it.
I'm sorry?
Two.
I like it. I
Okay,
like it the
love
way
it.
it is.
I like it.
I like it.
You can
Go
never
forward,
have too much
Skip.
practice, Denny.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you guys. You're all on my Christmas card list. Okay, so then I would guess then I'll ask you guys, you're still on the call. If Tuesdays and Thursdays, if we don't want to do it on a bold day, that leaves a Wednesday. And then then the other day would have to be Monday or Friday. And what would be the consensus? If it's around the same time, let's say 1 o'clock or so, it's the afternoon. What's the best day, Friday or Monday for you?
Are they going to do the workshops with Bold this time?
I think they're going to do it at least. Yeah, they're only an hour though. The coach's corner is on Wednesday, maybe Wednesdays and Fridays. I think the coach's corner is going to be 1 hour, not 2. And it goes at 1. Bold is 1 to 3 Central Time. And coach's corner, I think, is 1 to 2 Central Time. So there's no conflict on Monday. And if we do it on Wednesday, Monday or in Wednesday, could be Monday and Friday. I don't think the hour of the coach's corner is going to be a big deal. Wednesday's midweek. I think it's probably a good day for a class. I just want to know if you would prefer Friday or Monday.
I would personally prefer Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Monday.
All right. So watch your email. I'll get it set up for Monday and Wednesday through the month of August. And communicate with me during the week. I'm going to give you my cell number if you don't have it right now. If you have any issues, David Jacoby, he's still on. I've had some great conversations with him. I think I've helped him through a couple transactions. My cell is 239-851-4600. 239-851-4600. If you're about ready to go into a situation or just came out of a situation and you want to maybe spend 5 or 6 minutes role playing it with me, I'm happy to do it. And why do I do that? Well, this is what I get my kicks and giggles out of. Plus, it helps me be better. You guys I'm learning by doing this. Some of the input you have, listening to role plays, your situations is growing me. So it's a win-win. I trust you had found value in today's hour. Thanks for being here. Watch for the email next week. Thank you for you guys on Facebook. And like they say in the Hill Street Blues, be careful out there.
Thank you, Danny.
Great call.
Thanks, Danny. Hey, guys.
It was great. Thank you.